All right, welcome back, guys. This is going to be an opportunity for us to check our understanding on climatology. So let's have a look at some questions and some answers. All right, so let's start off with the questions where they say, okay, name the 5 factors that influence temperature and rainfall. Write out each of the following sentences using a suitable word to do with temperature. How does the Atlantic Ocean influence the climate of the Western Cape? And explain the influence of the Indian Ocean on the eastern parts of South Africa. Right, so this is an opportunity for you to pause the video over there, go answer the questions. All right, and we're back. Let's now have a look at some answers. Okay, the 5 factors. Latitude, we've got mountains and how they affect our climate, we've got altitude, we've got currents, ocean currents, we've got distance from the sea. All right, so those are the 5 that influence our temperature and rainfall. Places closer to the equator have higher temperatures than places further away from the equator. Places in high areas such as Johannesburg, all right, will have lower temperatures than places at similar latitudes, but that are closer to sea level. So lower temperatures when you go up higher in altitude. And the mountain areas of South Africa are the coldest parts of the country. All right, because you're high altitude, very cold. How does the Atlantic Ocean influence the climate of the Western Cape? Well, that gives us that cold Atlantic Ocean current will then give us low rainfall, colder temperatures, and a semi-desert climate. And then explain the influence of the Indian Ocean on the eastern parts of South Africa. Well, that's the opposite. It's high rainfall, much warmer temperatures, and subtropical climate. Okay, let's have a look at the next set of questions. We've got labeling a diagram. So match the labels with the letters on the diagram on the right, and it's things like moist air and dry air, cooling, and rain. All right, in your own words, explain on the diagram, show what the diagram shows about the influence on mountains on rainfall, and give an example of an area in South Africa that experiences the situation illustrated in the diagram. So again, let me get it in focus nicely for you. Pause the video here, go and answer those questions, and we'll come back. All right. And in 3, 2, 1, let's go and have a look at some answers. Right, so match the labels. So there we go. A is going to be the moist air. B is going to be where it has a lot of rain. C is this air is now rising, so it's cooling. And when you get over the top of the mountain, it becomes very dry air. Explain in your own words the influence of the mountains. So using these ones we just said, the mountains force the warm, moist air to rise. Okay? The mountains force the warm, moist air to rise. Then the effect of altitude cools the air and releases rain. And then dry air brings less rain to the areas to the west of the mountains. Okay, and then the last question is an example. Well, we got our Umkatlamba Drakensberg Mountains. So if this is KwaZulu-Natal, for example, and we've got our mountain range, when we go up and over the mountains, then everything going west from there is just very, very dry. Okay, let's have a look then at the last set of questions here. Interpret climate graphs. So let's check our understanding. Okay, identify the kinds of climate graphs shown at the bottom. Work out the temperature range, write a sentence to describe them, and then choose one of the graphs. I've just chose the first one, and the factor that has the significant influence on that. All right, so let's then put this nice and clearly for you so that you can pause it, answer the questions, and we're back. All right, let's have a look at some answers. Okay, so we're looking at the kinds of climates that are shown. So our first one is a tropical climate. And when we calculate the temperature range, wow, there's hardly any temperature range at all. I said like 1 degrees between 28 and 27. So that's the subtraction. And there's 1 degree range over there for the tropical. The sentence to describe it would be, well, that's got... this has a climate with very high rainfall and high temperatures throughout the entire year. Okay, then we're looking at the middle one, which we say is a continental climate. The temperature range was huge. We went from up to positive 20 degrees down to minus 15. So 20 minus negative 15, 35 degrees. How would you describe this? Well, we've got a large temperature range in this continental climate. We have moderate amounts of rainfall. If this is the northern hemisphere, then it would be during its summer months when it's warmer. And huge temperature range. Okay, we said that already for continental. Okay, and then the last one is desert, or the desert, sorry, not desert. The desert ecosystem or desert climate graph. Let's get it in focus here. All right. What kind of temperature range does it have? Well, it's pretty warm, so we're going from 25 degrees to about 15 degrees. That's about a 12 degree range. Opposite of tropical now, very low rainfall and also high temperatures. And how would we describe that in one sentence? Right, you say, during the hot summer months, the desert is very, very dry with very little rainfall. And then in the colder winter months, very little rainfall does occur. All right, but so throughout the whole year, it remains very dry. And then the last question, choose one of the graphs. So we chose the tropical one. Suggest a factor that would influence it. So I just chose latitude. A lot of these tropical climates are very close to the equator. So that means then they get a lot of direct sunlight, they evaporate a lot of water, there's high rainfall in those areas, and very high temperatures. All right, and that was just a quick chance to check our understanding of climate so far. Thank you.